Now, coming up next is a business update. Tolulokba Gunjabe standing by.
Well, thank you so much, Precious. As part of the federal government's efforts to mitigate the effect of fuel subsidy removal, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, in collaboration with the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, has inaugurated a conversion center for compressed natural gas vehicles in Mile 2 area of Lagos, Nigeria. Now, Program Coordinator PCNGI, Mr. Michael Oluwagbemi, said the inauguration was a significant development in diversifying the transportation sector from fuel to natural gas. He explained that this initiative will be replicated across all local governments in the state and, of course, across the federation, adding that the CNG center would pave way for more ecologically sustainable and economically prosperous future of Nigeria. Mr. Oluwagbemi again said that the CNG conversion center is of great importance for Nigerians and the global shift towards responsible energy selections. Both parties agree that this will help address high costs of transportation across the board.
We are here today as a result of collaboration between the Nigerian Road Transport Workers, Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, here in Lagos, and the Presidential CNG Initiative. Very important that we bring the conversions that we started in October of last year. We bring it down to the motor park where the vehicles actually had. What we are seeing here is the first conversion center in the motor park accredited by the PCNGI, and it will happen in all the local governments of Lagos State. We want this to penetrate so that every commercial vehicle, commercial operator here in Lagos can have an opportunity to convert the vehicle to CNG. And when they do that, they can then also pass on the savings, which is up to 90% in some instances, as you've already seen, and be able to pass it on to their customers, which is those of us who actually use this vehicle. So I think there's real value to this cooperation. We are moving away from asking them to bring their vehicle to town, to different garages, to actually meeting them where the motor vehicles are. And this is about government meeting the people.
It's a very good development to us as an organization. It's a welcome development because at this time of last year, the federal government rolled out the CNG conversion center, which they gave us only 6. And I want to tell you that our people key into it, but drivers value time. One thing that drivers value more is time. You can't play with time of any driver. So it's been very difficult for our members to say they want to go and park their vehicle for 2 days, 1 day for conversion. But we thank the MD of PCNGI for this initiative of bringing this to our domain. You don't need to go anywhere. After your work in a day, they can check your vehicle. If your vehicle is okay, within 3-4 hours, they will make a conversion for you. I think it's a good development. It's a welcome development to us as an organization.
Now, in President Tinubu's nationwide address commemorating 2 years since assuming office, he outlined the strides made under his renewed hope agenda to build a sustainable and prosperous Nigeria. Founder Chief Consultant B. Adedikpe Associates, Dr. Biodo Adedikpe, bared his mind on some of the economic policies of Mr. President. He spoke to me on our Business Nigeria program.
We've also gone in the right direction. And a number of pointers. I think Mr. President also mentioned one of them in his speech. And that is, if you look at the rig count, which in fact is a forward, or let me call it a lead indicator of what is happening in the O&G sector, oil and gas sector. Yeah. Okay? When we look at rig count for Nigeria, it has also increased significantly. That's a pointer to investment in production, equipment, and infrastructure. Yes. That's on the one side. When you look at output also, it has improved from where it was in 2023 to where we are today. Even though it is less than the budget assumption, yeah, but it's still a better place than where we were. All right? Equally, when you look at investment, there's an interesting thing there. You find that every time a major international oil company, an OIC, wants to divest, there's always either another IOC buying it out or a local oil and gas entity that is buying that up. So those are some of the things that also indicate that clearly investor interest in oil and gas in Nigeria has actually picked up in response to those executive orders.
While the Lagos State government has commenced the integration, The Lagos State government has commenced the integration of the National Identification Number into its single social register across 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas in the state to enhance the delivery of social protection initiatives. This development was disclosed by the State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpe George, during a press briefing in Alausa, Ikeja. The commissioner described the initiative as a significant step towards building a more effective and inclusive database system for residents.
The federal government has directed through a presidential panel that households on the national register must be updated, especially with the national identification number and geolocations, which is the name. This process commenced on Wednesday, the 9th of April 2025 in Lagos across all our 57 local governments and our local council development areas. And it's being carried out in alignment with the directive of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to make sure we strengthen the National Social Register and ensure that all states operate a synchronized and reliable database of vulnerable population. Through this integration, we're not only building a more robust and inclusive register, but we are also ensuring that the resources are delivered to the right people at the right time for the right impact. We urge every household to cooperate with our field officers, the social protection teams. Please make your needs available and encourage your neighbors to do the same. Your participation is essential to the success of this initiative in Lagos State and indeed in Nigeria.
Well, stocks slipped in Asia today and the US dollar dropped with Treasury yields as investors digested an appeal court's decision to keep President Donald Trump's tariffs in effect, a day after markets rallied on the ruling to block most of them. Japan's Nikkei attracted sellers following a nearly 2% rally, with moves in the exporters' heavy index exacerbated by the urban flow of demand from the safe haven. The Nikkei dropped 1.1% after the yen appreciated as much as 2% from its low to change hands as strong as 143.45 per dollar. A stronger yuan reduces the value of overseas revenue for Japanese companies. Hong Kong Hang Seng 1.6% with Apple suppliers slumping on the tariff reversal. Mainland Chinese blue chip is 0.3%. South Korea Kospi fell 0.9%. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan was off 0.6%. US S&P 500 fell 0.1%. The cash index rose 0.4% overnight, but that was largely the effect of resilient NVIDIA financial results from markets when it closed on Wednesday, while Asian shares had a chance to react. Pan-European stock 50 features edged very slightly lower. Well, that's business at 10. Next is sports. And I hand you over to Ikechukwu Obieno, who's standing by.